We've been called a lot of things. And we're inspired by everything around us, including each other. The individuals that have inspired me the most create beauty and positive change. To me, that's the highest form of art, and it deserves the loudest praise. This is Shout Out, the art of self-expression.
Welcome to the show, Arianna.
Hi.
Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. So just for the people watching and that are getting to know you, I saw a post on LinkedIn, and we both went to the same school. We both went to Full Sail, and I saw that you had gone through quite a challenge and came out on the other end victorious, and through Full Sail's a huge win. I mean, it's an intense roller coaster of a ride. So I just wanted to give you a platform to share your story and see what's going on. So where did this journey begin?
So the journey all begins in middle school. Funny enough, I started dipping my toe in the performance waters. I had done other modes of performance, like dance and theater and things like that. But one of the things that always stayed stagnant for me was music. So I began, going around to different open mics, and I ended up being a part of a small rap group back in middle school, where I would lay all of the background vocals and hook vocals if that's what they wanted. And that's also kind of when I dipped my toes in the waters of management as well, and coordination. So I would put together, studio time. I would help out with marketing and putting shows together and things like that. And from that point on in high school was really rough for me. I was a big outcast because I went to a very preppy high school, and I had a shaved head. I was very edgy, and I just didn't fit in, kind of thing. Very quiet. My best friends at school were my teachers, the ones that liked me. And at that point, I had decided that I didn't want to go to college, and I wanted to get out of high school as quickly as I possibly could. And I wanted to do the whole independent artist thing. So my first year of high school, I decided that I wanted to graduate early. So that's what I did. I graduated at 16. And when I was 15 is when I heard about Full Sail. And I decided that I was going to pivot my plan, and I was going to go there and just further my education in the field of music. So once I had arrived to Full Sail, I moved out at 17. And just because this is in the post nuts, so I'm going to speak about it a little bit. Before I moved out and I moved to a whole new city, I was in a long-term relationship with someone that was very not healthy for me. And being really young in that kind of situation is a scary thing, but it's also a very detrimental thing. So it did a lot in terms of my mental health, and it secluded me. And I really took going to college and moving to a different city as an opportunity to get away from that situation, as well as pursue my career. It was very much a new beginning for me. So yeah, I moved to a whole new city, a bigger city, where, I started learning about what I loved in a really real way. And that's when I kind of figured out that there's a lot of moving parts in the music industry that make it all flow together, and that I don't have to be an artist in order to be involved. And that's when I learned about management. And as literally a week after I learned what the job requirements were, what the description was, I found my first client, his name is Kenny Farrell, amazing R&B artist that I started working with. And it all kind of just spiraled from there. I started getting myself out into the Orlando scene, and I met Brandon Payne and WTF out here, We the Future. And at 17, I helped build their entire music department over there and put together artist development courses, and a lot of fun, a lot of great experience. And at some point, one of my professors reached out to me, and she offered me a job at her talent agency, which was another amazing opportunity. And she was one of my favorite professors. She wasn't around she's a new professor. Her name's Andrea Taylor. But she's amazing. Started working at the talent agency, and that's been a lot of fun. Great learning experience. And I continued managing, throughout my experience with all of that. But just this year, actually in January, is when I started my actual company for it and started getting, the paperwork on the line and the budgets, and really thinking more forward with it. So at the place I'm in now, I'm really just primarily focused on growing in all of those areas. My big main goal after all of this, wherever it decides to take me, whatever money I make from it, etc., is to essentially have a program. My management company is called Dare and Defy. I would like to open a non-for-profit down the line called Dare to Defy, which is essentially a therapeutic and educational company for underserved communities, where anybody of any age, we want to cater it more towards children, but anyone of any age will be able to come into our facility and get education on whatever their passion is. It doesn't have to be music, whatever creative outlet that you have. We want to foster that. We want to teach you that it can be a mode for your career, so it doesn't just have to be a hobby. But we also, want to show and provide therapeutic services, just like I said, that show that whatever creative outlet you have can just be more than a hobby and more than a job. It can really be your therapy. So that's like the big goal, and everything right now is just leading up to all of that.
That sounds incredible. To me, it seems so rare that somebody would find this field when you did so early on in life, and just have so much direction. What do you attribute that to?
A big part of it is my personality. I am an extremely just ambitious and determined person. I've just always been a part of this competition. I like to be the best at what I do, like 100%. I don't I'm realistic. Like, there's going to be someone who's better than you. There's going to be someone who's worse, but I'm definitely going to put in all the energy I can so I can be the best I can be. And then another part of it is a lot of this spans across my generation, right? So Gen Z, a lot of our parents, we saw them go through 2008. We saw them go through a lot of financial struggle. So a lot of us are very just forward, and we care a lot about compensation and making sure that we have stability, right? My mom, I was raised by a single mother who had her own company, who, I was getting picked up from daycare with her business attire on. And that's what I was raised around. I was raised with a very strong woman who, was extremely independent. And like I said, I think a part of it is my personality. But it's all cultivated to create me and what I do,
It's incredible, because really, like, the maturity level of like what you're talking about, how you're talking about it, I would, it's like 10, 15 years older than where you're at. So man, your future is looking really bright. If you could kind of just take us through the journey of like, what does a day look like for you?
Okay. Yeah. So every day I start usually around 8 or 9, which I should push that back more, but it's kind of hard to do so. I have so much to do today, so I should push it back, but it's hard because I'm at events at night, so it's difficult. But I usually wake up around 8 or 9. I check all my social medias, so whether that be like LinkedIn to Quadio, which is real small. I go on Discord, any of the platforms that I use. I make sure that I have no unanswered messages, that I follow up with people, that I engage, that kind of stuff. And then after that, I usually do some agency work. So I'll spend a couple hours of the day going through castings, going through emails and phone calls and things like that. And then I'll start on more my management and development side. So the day-to-day for development stuff, which is what I do at We the Future, changes. So sometimes I'm putting marketing schedules together. Sometimes I'm making graphics. Sometimes I'm doing consultations. It just depends. And then for management, usually I'm following up, making sure that all my artist things are registered. If we have any new projects coming up, I'm making sure that I'm checking in with all of the moving parts of that. Things along those lines. Again, marketing plans on that side, production schedules, things like that. Then is more a winding down time. So I'll usually relax for a little bit if I don't have an event to go to. If I do, then I'm like putting makeup on and I'm scrambling. But at the end of the night, I do research every day for my podcast called Run It Back, which is a music business news podcast that I publish every Sunday is when I go live with those. Then I do some reading. So I also have a book club, which right now we're covering All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald S. Passman, which is like the Bible for the music industry. So I'll do a little bit of reading. Then since I'm still like in that early phase of my company, I'll work on my website. I'll work on some graphics for that. And then I will do my to-do list for tomorrow. And then hopefully I get enough sleep for the next day.
Sounds incredible. You've got quite the schedule. What do you love most about what you do?
So this is something that I actually recently discovered about myself, which I think is pretty cool. If I didn't do what I do, I would be a school teacher, because my favorite thing about what I do is helping other people like realize their full potential and reach their goals. That's my favorite thing, is just to help other people win. And like I said, help other people reach their full potentials and kind of lead the way to that. I like being a leader. So yeah, that's the most fulfilling part. That's what I love the most, for sure.
That's cool. And it seems like, I mean, it's so related in what you're doing, helping artists that have been pushing for so long. And I mean, that's a big reason why I started doing this podcast, is just because you get to this level where you see a little bit of success and you start gaining momentum. You're like, I want to share that, because I know what it's like to be on the other end where you're struggling. That's again why, like, when I read your story, I was like, yeah, that's awesome what you're doing.
Thank you.
Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, 100%. The entire team over at We the Future here in Orlando. Of course, my artists, Falair and Payne. Kenny, my first client ever, 100% Kenny. Real quick, if anyone is in the Florida area or in Orlando, Falair is going to have his first official solo show at Penguin Point on June 18th. We got a music video coming out. And just stay tuned. Like, just, tap in with me. There's a lot that I'm always looking to connect with everyone that I can. I'm looking to help everyone I can. So, if you're interested, don't be shy. Don't hesitate to connect with me in any way.
Thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story, Arianna. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me and being a resource. Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, good luck tonight.
Shoutout is an Ellering Stories production. For more episodes, visit elleringstories.com.